Clue 1 discovered.
Escape the rabbit hole before it's too late.
Greetings, Earthling, and welcome to the Escape the Rabbit Hole podcast. I'm your host, Alien Angel, and I'm here to help you, escape the rabbit hole. At some point in our lives, we go down the rabbit hole and then our life becomes shit. And usually the rabbit hole, it's super fun at first, right? So whether it's drug addiction, like at first you're like, oh my gosh, like this is how normal people feel. This is great. I'm gonna just keep doing this, okay? But no, because eventually that fun and that newness, that wears away and you're left with what you paid for, which is usually addiction, depression, not being able to function properly. Okay, you went down the drug rabbit hole. And there are so many different rabbit holes and they are so particular to us in our life journey. My goal with my platform is to showcase all the different rabbit holes that humans have to go through and how to escape those rabbit holes to live a healthier, a better life, a more aware life. Okay, let's go. And yeah, this is my podcast. I really wanted it to be in the studio and a little bit more professional, but life was a lot and we persevere. I'm gonna tweak out. I hope you're ready to tweak out because tweaking out is kind of my thing. And I love sharing the tweak, okay? So here we are, and yeah, so Escape the Rabbit Hole is an experimental media platform. My podcast, Escape the Rabbit Hole, it's called that for a reason, and we are enticed down the rabbit hole by the society that raised us, okay? We live in a society where both the parents have to go to work, and guess who raises the kid? The media. And guess what the media teaches the kid? To be lustful, to be brain rotted, to be addicted. It's the orchestrated media that's there to poison your minds that I have beef with, okay? But getting back to the point, one reason I really have beef with society is because I feel like every time I open up a social media app, there's like something about gender war. Men talking shit about modern women, women talking shit about modern men. I mean, yeah, like individuals suck, but they're a product of the culture. Like at the end of the day, if you're upset with the dating culture in your country, in this case, I live in the US, and it's ass. The dating culture here is ass. I could literally cry thinking about it. Like, bro, like what happened to true love for real? The reason why I feel like sex should be safe for marriage is because when a woman has sex with a man, and I think this goes for men too, but I think women are more sensitive to it. Like it literally changes their brain chemistry. All their hormones get messed around. Their brain chemistry like rewires to be bonded to you and like to see you as their place of security. So if you're doing that with a man that is not giving you real security, that it's kind of fucked up because your brain's already there, but your outcome is not necessarily there. So I feel like that like sex, it's just such a beautiful connection between two people, such a beautiful thing that's supposed to be shared between two people that requires a lot of vulnerability and a lot of trust. And it's only worth putting yourself in that vulnerable position if you know that person you're with like genuinely got you. Like it's protection, especially for the woman. And like I'm gonna explain why chivalrous men of virtue marry and they don't just date with no ring. Obviously, like you should date the person before you get married. That's not what I'm saying, but like I feel like some men just think like, oh, marriage is dumb. Like why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because it makes you a virtuous man. I feel like it's such a grave sin to waste a woman's prime. And this brings me to my point where I don't see any way where hookups can be ethical. Even if it's two consenting parties, someone's getting used, someone's getting exploited. I mean, even if you're using each other, and I'm not trying to say like it's only men because I've heard some very predatory things about women as well, but I mean, just think about like if there's a girl that is showing no like respect or regard for herself and she's making herself like available to hook up with, even though it's like, you know, completely consensual, you're still exploiting someone's psychological issues and daddy issues because women with self-preservation probably won't be hooking up with you. If you have self-preservation skills, you're gonna at least wait until there's something serious in your connection. Because that's just how you have to be, like, as a woman. You can't leave yourself too vulnerable. I feel like a lot of times men just don't like really understand what they're asking for. To be a girl and to be in love is just like intense. And it's only worth being put in that vulnerable position if you know that person like truly, really got you. Marriage shields men from aging in a creepy way. Because I mean, think about like single Uncle Fred and how every time a teenage girl passes, he's like it's creepy, it's weird, like it's uncomfortable to be around single older men unless they're just pure beings and you can feel that, but most of the time they're not pure. So genuinely, like if you want to preserve yourself from getting creepy as a man, like you should get married, because married men are just way less creepy to me. I don't know, like if you're like 50 something and unmarried, like societally, you're at a disadvantage, I fear. Don't you want someone to really ride for you when you have like hemorrhoids and cancer and stinky old man breath? Doesn't that sound nice? It's just fucked because a lot of times girls get sexualized before they even understand sexuality and their sexuality. And it puts a lot of young girls in a position to get taken advantage of because they're not thinking about that. And it's very odd to, be a child and to be a young person where like all your spaces have been very like heavily protected, throughout elementary school, throughout like, even middle school, and then to suddenly be put in a position, sometimes by people that are like, not even minors themselves. Oh, it's so messed up. I feel like society kind of has to understand a lot of women go through like intense sexual trauma starting at like 11, 12. Some women even older, some women even younger. I've heard everything, even like from 5 and 6. So it's a very common thing. And I feel like the reason why a lot of women tend to be like hypersexual is when you're put in a position where someone takes something from you that's not theirs and it benefits them and it leaves you in that position. Sometimes as like a defense mechanism, people will take their power back. And if you had people take things from you like sexually that you didn't want to give, I feel like some women, them choosing to be sexual and them choosing to want it and to pursue that is like their way of like healing or defense mechanism, because in a way it is them taking their power back. It's like, oh, okay, you took my sexual power from me, now I'm going to use my sexual power to get what I want, type of a thing, so it's just sad. Like we live in a really broken culture, and instead of like blaming each other, we should blame the culture that raised us, the media that raised us, because they fucked up. The government is kind of like our big brother parents, they're kind of like the overarching parents of a country. And if you live in a dysfunctional family, the family's going to have dysfunctional children, okay? And we are the government's dysfunctional children because the marriage between the parties is not working out. And instead of understanding each other, we're like finding reasons to blame each other. And I'm just like really sick of ineffective communication. I'm really sick of like people picking fights and picking wars because it's just not necessary. I feel like everyone should have the emotional capacity to have an intelligent conversation.